just meeting with the team there, the last, I guess, workout before you get on a plane. What's the message to them before you head to Charlotte?
Obviously we go down there with the mindset you're going down there to win it. But it sounds a lot easier than it is, so you got to kind of take a step back, simplify it, and it's about what we preach all year: throw strikes, make routine plays, maybe make some good plays, and get timely hits and be offensive, kind of like we were this past weekend. I mean, that's the recipe for winning baseball, winning in the ACC, and especially in the postseason.
Going into this one, you guys are going to have those 2 days off in between. Is there anything that you're already looking at, like, we know we're going to work on these 2 days no matter what, or do you kind of have to wait to see where the cards lie after the first game?
I kind of already have the practice schedule set for the week. I have the times. We get about 2 practices a week, so we kind of know what we're doing team defense-wise, base running-wise, obviously the offensive aspect. Coach Williams will do some things with certain pitchers depending on who threw, who didn't threw. That Wednesday, Thursday is a huge stretch because, you got to get ready. Win or lose, you got to get ready to play a really good Clemson team on Friday. But as we've learned in this tournament, I mean, just, you throw the seeds out, everybody's good, everybody's playing for something. So whatever they're playing for is not more important or less important than what you're playing for. So when you go to this tournament, like we saw in basketball, right, what NC State did, there's 12 teams that know, hey, if we play well in this tournament, we win in this tournament. Not only do we advance, but we can do damage in the postseason. That's what the conference tournaments are all about. That's why they send the tournament champion to the postseason, because you've proven, hey, you can win a really good tournament. You should have a chance to compete in an NCAA regional tournament. So it's a fun week, and it's super competitive, and it's unique that your bracket and you kind of know your 2 games already, and you have to win both games, and you got to be careful when you say that, because you could fall behind in game 1, and then the pressure of, oh my gosh, we're not going to win both games. Like, whoa, we're in the 3rd inning of game 1. Just be where your feet are and do what you can do and play as good a baseball as you can play. So as a coach, that's kind of always the challenge you have, as to just keeping their mindset right, even keel, and they should trust and know that we've prepared them for this. I mean,
It seems like the guys kind of just talked about that a lot, embracing the fact that they can kind of control their own destiny with whatever happens like this. To have that kind of attitude, how does that kind of maybe put anxiety at ease with, thinking about way too far ahead past Sunday?
Yeah, we address things like pressure is a privilege. We make the Tuesday game in February be as big as any other game. We don't, I just think we prepare them and get them in that winning routine, that this is, you hate to say just another game, but that's the way you have to approach it. Maybe there's a little more focus, and maybe there's a little more intent, maybe there's a little more intensity, but you can't try to do too much. It's a baseball game, so you got to play the game. And I think this group is well seasoned as to what winning baseball is and what losing baseball is, and so and we've been in a lot of scenarios, so we should be able to handle. If we're up big, well, what do you have to do when you're up big? If you're down big, well, what do you have to do when you're down big? And then obviously the close scores, there's that fine line between winning and losing. So I feel like this group is as battle tested as just about any, in terms of the highs, the lows, and all the adversity that these guys have been through.
What do you remember the most from facing and scouting Clemson and Miami from the regular season?
Oh my gosh, it's just, 2 different weekends. One we're on the road, but very similar in both weekends, where you have a chance to win 2 games. And we did at Miami. We came from behind, down 2 in the second game, or down 1. Benson hits a huge home run. We take it to extra innings. It's not easy to win an extra inning game on the road. And so we win 2 there, and then here we lose 2, where we could have won that Friday game, and they put up a big rally there in the 9th, and then we come back and win the Saturday game, and both Sundays were similar, where we didn't play great. So the weekends are similar in a sense, but it really doesn't matter if you won, if you lost, if you pitched well, if you didn't. I mean, it's another baseball game, and you just kind of have to take it as that. Just keep it simple and just do what you're supposed to do to play good baseball and win.
That 11 a.m. start. What are the positives of being able to kind of kick the whole thing off like that?
I don't know. I mean, I like to think our guys are prepared. I mean, my gosh, I talk about the 11 a.m. game as much as any, just because we've probably played more 11 a.m. games than most. I love controlling. The schedule is set. There is no delay. There is no, I mean, other than weather, you're starting at 11. So you know you can have a nice routine that morning. And, you know, you play well. It's nice when you get the afternoon off and you get more time for your body to recover. This is a little different because we don't play till Friday, you know. So that might not be a huge advantage. But we scrimmage early. We practice early, you know, like today. It was a purpose to come out here. We could have practiced down in Charlotte this afternoon or tonight, but just because we got the 11 a.m. game, we felt like we got to get them up, get them here, and get them in that good routine. So I'd like to think rain, snow, sun, you know, we take a lot of pride in being able to play in all elements at all times of the day. I mean, I think we've started games as late as 8 o'clock this year, and we've started as early, you know, as 11 a.m. So I think we're ready.
Speaking of getting that second Friday game, what are some of the advantages when it comes to managing your pitching rotation with getting that Friday game and then taking into account that you played 3 games in 2 days against Notre Dame, so you have some fresher arms than most other players?
We definitely feel fresh going into it, but they're 2 totally separate games. It's Tuesday is you say it all hands on deck, but you look at all those weekend starters, and yeah, Hartman's probably removed because he threw Saturday or Friday, but you know the guys that threw Thursday, Webster and Gongora, and then obviously you got Forbes and some of those relievers. Like you go into Tuesday's game with all hands on deck. After that game, you reevaluate, and then you go, okay, who's gonna pitch Friday? And that falls all the way from Hartman, who pitched our last ACC game, to the 2 other starters who pitched Tuesday and who didn't pitch Tuesday, combined with all your relievers. So where it gets a little more challenging, or I think exciting, is if you make it to the weekend, that's where you need your depth. That's where all the arms are now. They're all in it, you know. But Tuesday and Friday, I mean, you're really loading up. You would think with your top 6 to 8 arms in terms of who's pitched the best, who's the hottest. But when you get into the weekend, I mean, if you're on this trip, we brought you is to pitch, because we believe you can get outs, and we can do all 3 phases of the game.
Good, guys.
All right.